Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today we're talking the first Sex and the City movie. And I know you're like, hey Jen, we've already been there. I know, but I just got my hands on the Michael Patrick King commentary for the first Sex and the City movie. So we are going to be reacting to that. I thought it'd be a fun treat. I thought we could listen to how full of himself he is in this one. I have not listened yet, by the way. I'm excited to react in real time with you guys, but I thought we could give it a listen. And again, I'm a reaction channel, so I'm going to be pausing a lot and reacting to it. So I'm excited to jump into this. So let's get into it and hear what he has to say for himself about the first Sex and the City movie. Now, interestingly, I went looking for the second Sex and the City movie recap, whatever, hear him talk about that, but nope, nothing. I don't think he could explain that one away. But yeah, let's get into this. I'm very excited to talk about it and hear what he has to say for himself. We're going to get into it, but first, check out my merch, link below. I got Midnight Toast, Justice for Steve, it's a load of pants. Or find me on Patreon, it's patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. Okay, so the way this works is he talks over the movie itself. There are parts of the movie that I can't play because of music in it or whatever else. So there's just going to be parts that'll be cut out, but we're going to hear what he has to say for himself about this movie, and I will be reacting to it as we go. So let's get into this.
Hello, this is Michael Patrick King, writer, director, producer of Sex and the City, the movie. If I consider the movie that you saw in the theaters a big box of chocolates, this extended version is like you have a box of chocolates and then you lift up the layer and you find another layer that you didn't expect. Everything I like is in this extended version.
Okay, yep, can't play that opening song, but interesting to hear him already drinking his own Kool-Aid. So let's jump ahead to where the movie begins.
This scene was important. This is the first time you see all four girls, how they look now. We're on Park Avenue. We filmed there because it was the only street in New York where we could get actual distance because there's a meridian on the street where all the fans were. There were 300, 500 fans screaming in between takes here. First joke in the movie, of course, is the men kissing and women saying, well, we missed that one. Carrie's apartment, it's the first time you've actually seen her filmed in the window. In the entire television series, we never connected that image to actually her.
So to me, when they recorded this, they recorded the movie audio too loud versus his talking track. There's unfortunately nothing I can do about that. It's kind of annoying to listen to, but it might just be because I get annoyed with Michael Patrick King. But we're going to do our best, and let's listen to what he has to say.
So when I saw the first cut of the movie, the first thing I thought was there's not enough about the past. It's not referential enough. It's not going to give the audience what they need. So
it's funny to hear him talk like this about giving the audience what they need. Since when does he care about that? I mean, hello, have you seen the second movie or in Just Like That?
I came up with the idea that the book springs to life. And in this, it justifies the stories that you're about to follow, but also it gives the information for anyone who's never seen the series. And it was quite a challenge to decide what 6 years was for each character in 6 seconds. The screen only goes full screen when you're seeing the actual film of what we filmed. All the little pieces are from the past. And everything you're seeing there, I wrote. All those chapters, I wrote in case you were at home right now and you could freeze it just to see if we actually did.
Okay, what the pompous ass is talking about is, remember at the beginning of the first movie, they're showing things that had happened, like chapters of the book. So he's being very excited about his own writing here.
All of our work. Please do freeze it and read everything I took time to write.
Please do appreciate me and tell me how wonderful I am. Blech.
Samantha's love.
It was interesting to try to pick certain Samantha sex scenes as versus others. Funky Spunk was a signature event for me. I wrote it and I thought it was a good way to introduce Samantha just with Charlotte's first line, which is, I've been dating since I'm 15, I'm exhausted.
So this is also a good time to point out that he was very proud of himself for also writing all the Brady and Just Like That stuff. You know where I'm going with that. So he really likes to write stuff like that. Ew.
Smoke from her cigarette. It was a reference to the fact that she smoked for years and years, and eventually it was weeded out.
Except for that it wasn't, because she was still smoking and in Just Like That.
We had to re-ask all the actors to do these signature lines from this, like, just tell me I'm the one, and Carrie, you're the one again, because the soundtracks were so different from the TV series to now. So to ask Sarah Jessica Parker to go back and say, just tell me I'm the one, like she did when she was 32, was really dangerous, but of course they were able to do it.
This is also a good time for me to point out he loves to kiss Sarah Jessica Parker's ass any chance he gets.
I also wanted the opening to be excited so that the audience could relax, like they'd seen a lot. And I feel now they have. It's pink and you get the past and you can sort of relax and settle into the first moment of Carrie and Big. This is the very first scene we filmed on the very first day. Sarah Jessica's carrying an Eiffel Tower purse, which is a reference to the past. The last episode of the series took place in Paris.
Oh, yeah, we are very familiar with this purse. This is the one that Big ends up in.
The movie shoes have a different feel to them. The series shoes were a little bit more delicate, a little bit more Manolo. The penthouse was not really a penthouse. It was built on the ground floor of a building in New York City, an actually historical building. It was quite a struggle to find a penthouse that embodied.
So what's funny about this is my mind immediately, I just keep thinking about it, and just like that, and the pile of garbage they handed us there, because remember, they're talking about, building this penthouse. At least this one looks real. Remember the garbage they gave us, and it just like that green screen nightmare?
The jewel that it needed to be. Of course, before you see the jewel, you have to see the crap. One of the themes, the primary theme, is love, and the other theme is how 20-something women become 40-something women. So I got the ideas of the girls you knew and now the girls that you know.
So from here, you remember they showed them the lower floor apartments, and then they end up taking them up to the penthouse and showing them that?
She knows it's not her, but there's something about the way she behaves in this apartment that Big sees how much she likes it right there. And I always thought that this was the beginning of him stepping outside of his comfort zone for her. There's the fly in the ointment. They're perfectly happy until society reflects back what they're not. They're not married. The shame on the real estate guy's face when he's asked the bad question.
We're going into the Carrie screamy, shrill thing again that I hate. But so this is something that they like to do, because remember in the second movie, they had the woman be weird with her because she doesn't want to have kids. I don't know. I find it all a little ridiculous.
Our costume designer is Patricia Field. She's a New York legend. Been in New York forever. She pulls from the couture houses of Europe and the bargain bins of 14th Street and puts it all together in her unique style.
But hilarious that there's zero mention of Molly Rogers. Interesting.
Welcome home, baby.
Chris Noth is such an amazing actor. Mr. Big lives inside of him. He's actually not Mr. Big, so my job on the set was just to film, and then suddenly Mr. Big appears, and then I would move on.
I mean, just listening to this, it just reeks of how much they're all drinking their own Kool-Aid, right?
What I also love about this scene is you get all that free bounce of the artwork from Christie's on the reverse side. You see all these masters going by. It's very colorful. You can see what Pat's doing with the clothes. Everything is bigger and a little bit more vibrant. And when Pat started talking to me, like, for example, about Miranda's look, I kept saying, she's a lawyer, and she kept saying, but she's fabulous. So she's a fabulous lawyer. And I said, yeah, put Miranda in that, because the first time you see her, she's in a blow-up.
I just want to point out a few minutes ago, he was talking about his awesome writing, and now he's giving himself credit for approval for wardrobe.
Pool and a tank top, so it balances off.
Jealous. Oh,
It was really important to me on the script for this movie that it be about the reunion of the four girls coming together and being there for each other. And even though Samantha lives in Los Angeles, which was an important story point that I always wanted to make the girls move on a little bit, here they are reuniting, and it's fantastic.
Okay, so from here we go to, remember where Samantha was interested in that jewelry? She wanted to go to the auction.
This entire scene is based around something that happened bad to an. We disguised the hair color, but the story is quite a legend in New York, a jewelry auction, famous person, humiliation. So I thought, well, we should go for this. All the stories in the series were always based in something that happened in real life, so I wanted to do the same thing with the movie.
So, Dickhead's dancing around it, but I mentioned it before when I recapped the movie. It's supposedly based on Ellen Barkin and what happened to her and how she ended up auctioning off her jewelry after a, highly publicized split.
Flower ring was, of course, designed, yet again, very closely to another ring that somebody else sold.
I don't know why he's trying to play so coy about it. Again, it's come out. It was Ellen Barkin, and she had a ring just like this.
Right. The fun thing about the Christie's paddles, I wanted Samantha's number to be 69.
That is just his go-to humor, and it's weird how proud of himself he is for this.
Just 69. And Christie's was like, we don't do 69. And I was like, all right. So they put a 9 in front of it. But for me, I always see Samantha holding up 69 every time. We got close. 69.
Seriously, what is this guy's deal? We should drink every time he says 69. Oh, God, we'd be blackout.
I work hard, I deserve this. I've heard that line out of so many women's mouths in my life. I have heard that line more than I've heard any other line. I work hard, I deserve this. And you know what they do? So the idea being that Samantha's on the top of the world, she can do whatever she wants. A lot of the tempting in the movie, the opening of the movie, was seeing the best of everything because I knew where it was going to go. So I wanted to eventually do a lot of whipped cream up front.
Is he in a contest with himself to see how cringy he can make this commentary? Because he's winning.
Also, one of the themes of the movie that's important, if you can sort of track it, is how everybody seems to be fine till society tells them what they should be.
Okay, so Dickhead goes on and on about nothing except for whipped cream and whatever the hell else he's talking about. So we're going to skip forward. The next scene is Carrie having the conversation with Big about the apartment and how he bought it, it's his place, and, how she can protect herself, that sort of thing.
They each say their truth. He says, I want you a couple of times in the movie, and really that is his truth. Then he goes along for the ride because of what they think should happen. Okay. There are moments in the series that were gigantic for the audience, so I tried to reference them back a little bit, like get me a really big closet, because we all know that the diamond ring scenario was a destruction with Aiden. So
I would say that Carrie was the destruction with Aiden, not so much the ring.
In the opening credits, you see when Aiden's mentioned a diamond ring, and that's a second reference.
So this is where Carrie's at lunch with Charlotte and Miranda. She ends up telling them that she and Big ended up getting engaged. And Charlotte does the screaming, standing up in the restaurant thing.
There it is. There it is. The words Charlotte's been waiting to hear since she met Big. This is filmed at 4 o'clock in the morning.
And she just got engaged. And
You'd never know it. John Thomas's lighting is sublime. The other scene that's completely dark but light inside is in the library later on. This, to me, the 5 women at the table, everybody applauding this, it's important. Now, in any other romantic comedy, that would have been the only scene about the wedding, telling your girlfriends. But in Sex and the City, it's a little bit more complicated. She's telling the one that she knows is not a marriage devotee. And of course, really, the story isn't told till it's told to all 4 girls. So for me, it was a constant balance of trying to keep Samantha very much alive in Los Angeles when she wasn't in New York.
I just didn't see it like that. Having learned everything I have since, these movies came out, I just see it as any chance to give Kim the lesser storyline. That seems to be the way that they would go with her.
Carrie wears the pearls a lot. She even wears them to bed later. I think it's going to be about pearls and belts. There you see nothing but product. Those 2 Golden Globes are John Melfi's, our producer, who we won for the Sex and the City series. I said, bring him in. Mine are in New York. He said, bragging. Only because I don't know how to get them on a plane.
Man, he's a pompous ass, isn't he?
You can't have a wedding without a wedding planner, and you can't have a better wedding planner than Anthony, Mario Cantone. 76 trombones? Yes, 76. Mario is magic. Anything he touches funnier. Knew him in the comedy clubs. I brought him on the series because I thought he's basically a secret weapon.
I love it. So the writing is his, the costume he's taking credit for, and now he's taking credit for Anthony.
Once again, the movie's a lot about expectations. If you're getting married, you get married here. If you're living in a good apartment, it is this. If you're going to be married, you should be married. Carrie's going to be married in the best dress possible. I think it was important to show, from a writing point of view, that Carrie had a really sort of impulsively strong idea of what should happen with her and Big. She gets addicted to the idea of wedding and eventually lets go of her gut instincts. But she had a lot of help from society, Vivienne Westwood and Vogue. It's our honor to be the only feature film filmed at Vogue in a very, very long time. Anna Wintour was an amazing help.
Okay, this is the part where I cut through the bullshit. So, Vogue and Sarah Jessica Parker / Sex and the City had a long-standing kiss-ass back-and-forth relationship where they would promote each other. Now, the funny thing is they kind of stepped out and said, and just like that sucks too, but then started to walk that back a little bit and started having, I think they, what was it? Cynthia Nixon, I believe, did a shoot for them and did some interviews too. So they're back in the bullshit again.
In getting the entire Vogue brand into the movie. And as a matter of fact, she gave me notes on my script and she was delightful and charming.
You are 40.
If you cannot get Anna Wintour to be in the movie, then you've got to get Candice Bergen. Candice Bergen playing Enid Frick, a very important part of the series and now instrumental in the final downfall of Carrie when it comes to couture.
So I always loved the character of Enid. I loved that she kind of saw through Carrie's bullshit and called her out on it. And when Carrie didn't do a good job writing, she called her out on that. And I also loved that they kind of made her a mess a little bit. It was just, I thought she was a fascinating character to watch. Plus, I love Candice Bergen.
This scene was shot at Vogue. The interesting thing is we had to switch the dates around, so we weren't able to shoot in the actual Vogue. This, we had to go downstairs to the teen Vogue offices. So it always amused me that we were shooting a scene about aging and being over 40 at teen Vogue that had the exact same view as regular Vogue upstairs.
When I hear Vogue, I just always think, I'm drunk at Vogue. I'm drunk at Vogue. The way she would say that, it just kind of made me laugh.
The Vogue shoot was a major coming together of many, many people.
Okay, get ready, because Dickhead is about to name drop a whole lot of people and be very proud of himself.
Vogue, Sex and the City, Anna Wintour, Pat Field. Everyone you see working on the shoot is an authentic person that would be there. That's Andre Leontali, who is Anna's second in command. Gucci and Serge, who are major hair and makeup people. Patrick Demarche is doing the photography. Those orchids on her hair are directly off John Galliano's last couture show.
See what I mean? Told you, a whole bunch of bullshit. All right, we're speeding past this part because he's being real boring right here.
Thrilled, beautiful. We're on cranes. We're up and down. Every little detail, the pewter crane in the background, everything. Just there for this. The Vivienne Westwood dress was picked out of all these amazing dresses because of its almost allusion to a classic Cinderella motif. The skirt, the volume, the fabric. It's twisted at the top, but from the waist down, it's very traditional.
I know a lot of people liked it, and you're probably one of them, and that's totally cool. Agree to disagree, because I hate this dress so much. I've already said my piece on it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to my recap of the movie.
I also wanted the montage to be in the movie because I knew that the Vivienne Westwood dress wasn't going to be enough for all the women out there. They wanted her to be in the Vera Wang or the Carolina Herrera, so it was really like Carrie as a paper doll, and which bride do you think she should have been?
I just find this so kiss-ass, sycophantic, whatever you want to say, like the way that he's describing Sarah Jessica Parker and just plays into all of it. It's all over the top, and yes, I do actually want to see other dresses on her, but the way he's talking about her like a paper doll just kind of makes me nauseous.
It's actually Vivienne Westwood's writing. I always thought in the Cinderella theme, you know how Cinderella had a sort of amazingly daffy fairy godmother of an older age? I always thought that it was interesting that Vivienne Westwood showed up and was ours.
Okay, skipping past Dickhead, going into how much he loves a certain noise that Chris Noth makes. It's very odd. Moving on, here we go.
I love the way they look in this scene. To me, this is like the best of being a couple in New York. I mean, they're relaxed, they're reading, they're sexy, they're tan, they're handsome, they're beautiful.
No, but some of your classmates are, like Voltaire, Napoleon.
They're older, which is really, really important to me. And the beginning of the older theme is playing through here with her with the glasses.
Okay, here's Napoleon.
Not really believing that she's 41 and needs to see things differently. She instead chooses to see things through Big's eyes. Or later in the movie, not through his eyes.
Research for my new book.
Plus, she's so cute in his glasses.
Yeah, I think I just hit my wall of bullshit for the day, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. Oh, he is hard to listen to sometimes, I swear. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You got to let me know in the comments if this is something you want to keep going with. He's so pompous and full of himself. It gets, I don't know, stifling or something. It's just hard to wade through, but I'm down to keep going if you guys are. If we want to just move on, I'm good with that too. Just let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.